This episode is all about the Sweet Spot program and how it helps you find more harmony with you and your horse in an empowering and transformative way. At the time this episode is released, registration is currently open for the program. It only opens twice a year, so we want to make sure it's easy for you to know whether it's right for you, either now or in the future. And you'll be hearing from me and some Sweet Spot students. So here we go, episode 222. All about the Sweet Spot program. Hi, I'm Karen Rohlf, and welcome to Horse Training in Harmony. This podcast is about you making progress with your horse in a way that you both can love. It's about learning how to move and be in harmony. Because yes, you really can develop a horse to be both athletic and happy. When we show up as our best selves for our horses will show up for us. So let's get started. Now, this episode will be a little bit different. I recently did a 1-hour Zoom meeting about the Sweet Spot course and answering questions and sharing past students' experiences with the program. And there was just so much good information in there. I thought it'd be really fun to put it here on the podcast too. We enroll people from all over the world. So so I think you'll find this really interesting. It's really the signature course for Dressage Naturally. And it's so amazing that I just can't talk about it enough. And so I know whether it's now or in the future, this is a program that likely, if you love what I do and you love Dressage Naturally, this program is for you because it really dives into the heart of it. So anyway, it's enough talking for me now. I'm going to let you jump right in and listen. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Welcome, everybody. So the whole purpose of this is to answer some questions about the Sweet Spot of Healthy Biomechanics program, which is we enroll people twice a year. So this is one of those times. So it's just always a really fun and happy time in Dressage Naturally land because we bring in a new cohort of students and yay. And it's such a, I don't know, I feel like it's a really unique course. And it's such a special course that it's often hard to explain. It's the whole is greater than the sum of the parts with this program, especially. So the whole point here is to, instead of having to read the stuff on a page, to just, be able to explain. We'll be able to answer some questions. So I'll start by kind of going through some stuff, which we'll answer a lot of the questions that were sent in and the common questions. And we have some Sweet Spot alumni who were nice enough to come on this call and help explain and share their experience with the course. So you can really hear what it was like to go through the program from someone just like you. Finding the Sweet Spot of Healthy Biomechanics program is something I've been teaching for a couple decades now. It's been an online course in this form since 2013. So this is honed, proven, refined, crafted, refined some more. And I'm super proud of it, and it works. So it's an online course, but I really like to talk about it as a program because it's so much more than just a bunch of information, right? So it's highly supported, step by step, and it's really a guide to finding ease in motion. Like, that's how to explain it in as few words as possible. It's about you and your horse learning to move together in harmony and enjoying the process of doing it. And it's exercises, but it's a concept, and it really changes. It's a way of looking at the whole big picture of it. It's a way of looking at the concept, and it gives you a blueprint and a way of problem solving through this that you'll use with every single horse for the rest of your life. It's one of these things that once you know this concept, you're not going to understand how you ever could do it differently than this. What's taught in the Sweet Spot course is what takes up probably at least 80% of my focus when I'm out there riding my horses every single day. A lot of you have heard me talk about the Happy Athlete Training Scale, which is sort of a, blueprint for prioritization of what you're focusing on with your horse. So happiness is the base, then harmony, communication, biomechanics, and then dressage and sport. And so the sweet spot course covers all of it. We cover all of it with a main focus on the harmony, mental, emotional, physical harmony, the communication. So what are the exact kinds of communications you're going to need to start improving how your horse moves? And then, of course, about the biomechanics. How do we now use those conversations and communications to actually influence how they're moving in a way that makes sense and that is based on partnership and harmony and communication, right? So it's not about get your horse's head in a certain shape and here's the equipment that's going to make it happen because you're going to just force your horse into this little box. So that's not what we do. The way we influence the biomechanics is really in partnership with the horse, and then it goes into gymnastic training. It's such a comprehensive course. It's the subject of, like, if you had to learn one thing from Dressage Naturally, like, this is it. This is the signature piece and the body of information that's going to serve you the most, all in this one big nugget. Another thing that this program is based on, if you're familiar at all with what I do, you're going to understand that I believe this, that like balance, like harmony, like freedom of movement, that things like that should feel good to the horse, right? So we're not doing dressage to the horse. We're doing it for the horse and with the horse. It's healthy biomechanics because I think it should feel better. The horse should be like, oh, wow, that was weird, but wow, it's so much easier to move like this. It's so, it feels easier to carry you. Thank you, Mom, for doing it. So it's healthy movement for the horse, with the horse, and it's taught in a way that really empowers you to be able to confidently self-assess and problem solve. And the reason I thought I could do it as an online course way back when is because it's exactly what I was teaching in my live clinics. And the whole point of my live clinics, even when I'm there, is by the end of the clinic that my students are riding around telling me when they're in the sweet spot, because all the exercises are really designed to be able to feel confident to do them on your own, even if you're all by yourself alone in a field on the other side of the world. So that's why it naturally lended itself to being an online course, and why I was one of the first people out there doing that in the horse world. A lot of the questions that we get are around who is this course for? And it's really for anyone of any discipline if you want to enjoy the process of learning to move in harmony with your horse. So we've had, obviously, people who are interested in dressage doing it. We've had people who do driving, combined driving and other kinds of driving. We have jumping, eventing. I've had people do cutting, and they're like, yeah, I got my best cutting score. I'm like, okay, I know nothing about cutting. But if you have a horse that's relaxed, energized, balanced, and free, and they're in a good movement in their body, then they're going to be able to do whatever job they need to do better. We have had people with gaited horses in here. I don't know much about gaited, but again, I know a horse that's relaxed, energized, balanced, free, aligned in cooperative communication, that's happy and harmonious, is going to gait better. We've had people who do endurance, trail riding, and we have people who just maybe have an older horse and maybe they just do stuff online. Maybe they're rehabilitating a horse. So it really is every discipline. And we've had upper level riders and professionals go through the program. We've had pleasure riders who say, I don't want to do dressage. I'm like, okay, it's fine if you don't want to, like, quote, do dressage. Whatever you do, would you like to do it with more ease, with more harmony, with more balance? Yeah. And I know that sounds a little weird to think of, like, how could it be good for, a novice pleasure rider who's going down the trail? And how could it also be good for an upper level dressage professional? And this is because of the concept of it. It's a way of thinking about it. It's a way of interacting with your horse, and it's exercises that are designed to be done in cooperation with your horse, where you're actually asking your horse, like, hey, how does this feel? So that's where, you can apply that concept to lots of different things. You can apply the sweet spot concept for taking a horse with a lifetime of brace and trying to rehabilitate it. The same concept applies for finding the sweet spot of cantering down center line for your Grand Prix test. Once you understand the concept, you can apply it in all different places and levels. So I think that's pretty cool. Like I said, we've had people with older horses who just want to help them be as comfortable as they can be. We've had people go through here and use it with their young horses to start them out. I mean, it's not about starting the horses, but like once the horse is like rideable, and you can start doing the online exercises actually pretty young. We've had people use it to rehabilitate horses with chronic physical issues and the whole range. So, what people have in common in this course is that it's people who want to work in partnership with their horse, right? That's the priority. They want to find a place of ease together, and it's really about creating happy and athletic horses. Prerequisites, you just want to have an independent seat. You want to be a rider who can comfortably walk, trot, and canter. Now, sometimes we'll have riders who like, yeah, I can walk, trot, canter. I'm totally balanced and comfortable, but not with this horse, right? So sometimes they're like, they're a rider, they've been riding for a long time. They're very, maybe with other horses, they've done more, more advanced stuff, or even, can ride comfortably without the reins. But on the horse they have right now, there's like this issue of brace or impulsiveness or something at one of the gaits or all of the gaits, and they need to help problem solving. So you don't have to, things don't have to be going perfectly with your horse now. It's not for beginner riders. If your horse is having big emotional issues like bolting, rearing, explosiveness, kind of foundational issues like that, those issues should take a priority. And I would recommend that you go focus on those before diving into this. With that said, sometimes if a horse is sort of generally okay, but at like one of the gaits in one of the directions, they can get emotional, then it's like, well, that might actually be a biomechanical problem. It might be an imbalance somewhere. So if you have one of those horses where it's like, well, sometimes they're great and sometimes it's a little weird, you can always talk to us, or you can ask the question here later, because that might be appropriate. But if you have a horse, it's like your horse is always running away, your horse is definitely scared, they don't have the basic, understand how to kind of be ridden without being scared and emotional, then it would be better to go solve that first. The biggest prerequisite is that you come with an open mind and you're ready to dive in and take advantage of it. In a nutshell, just going through the modules, it starts with kind of a big picture view of what it means to, where does dressage and healthy movement kind of fit in the big picture? So we looked at that training scale. It kind of goes, okay, how does that fit in the big picture? And then we also make sure that you have the foundational pieces that are important for this course, right? So we've had people who are really advanced in like natural horsemanship, but we still go through in the foundational in module 1. It's like, okay, you've got all this foundation, but here's the pieces that are especially important that you want to tune up, and here's how you might want to have them so that we can then those are the ones we're going to need moving forward specifically. So then in the next module, module 2, we get very specific about the conversations about relaxation, energy, and balance, because those are the ones that we're going to be using to influence how your horse carries himself and moves. So we go really holding a microscope up to those conversations, and there's some pretty cool exercises that kind of, again, work with the horse's psychology to get them on board and participating in these conversations. And then in the next module, we start combining them, right? So we start playing and experimenting with these conversations to try to create this, and actually to find the place where your horse says, whoa, this feels nicer here. And you feel like, whoa, this feels nicer here. And then when I ask you how strong aids are you using to get that, you're going to say nothing. I'm just sitting here. So it's module 3 is about finding that sweet spot with ease. And you learn the protocol for that. The next module, we do that same protocol for your own rider position, right? So anybody who's been in lessons where it's like, sit up straight, hold your knees down, but all this stuff, and then breathe and relax. So there's a way to play with the same protocol with your own rider position, which is super fun and different and effective. And then that takes us to module 5, which is where we start looking at the connection with the reins. And this is where a lot of people are surprised because it's like, hey, Karen, this is kind of dressage-y. Aren't you supposed to like get them on the bit first? Isn't that where dressage lessons start? And what I've found is that most of the problems that people have with riding in connection with the reins are actually solved by going through everything we cover in module 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So a lot of times people will come in with connection challenges and problems, and that's what they really want to solve. And they are like, just go through the modules. And then we get to, the 5th module. And we go, okay, now how's the connection problem? They're like, well, it went away. It's not there anymore. I'm like, yes. So by the end of module 5, we've gotten everything we need to know how to create the working gaits in connection with the reins with ease. And then the last module is the basics of gymnastics. So you learn the 3 different categories of gymnastic movements and exercises and why you would do each one and what are the elements of each. So you can start strategizing and understanding, okay, my horse needs to be more supple. What kind of exercises do I do for that? My horse needs to be straighter. What kind of exercises do I do for that? My horse needs to be more engaged. What kind of exercises do I do for that? And it helps you then to make smarter training plans and decisions about what you do. So it's pretty comprehensive. You get immediate access, you get lifetime access, you get to go at your own pace. So a lot of the questions we get are around that, like how much time is it going to take? How long you need to spend at each module is totally up to you. And that's actually something that we help people with on the live calls. So you can, that's a common question. Like, should I go on to the next module yet? And then we can talk to you, find out what's going on. And we can say, maybe you should stay here, play with this a little bit more till it gets better. We might ask you to like go look at the next module, but don't start playing with it yet. Or we might say, get in there, that you're well within good enough. Like, get on to the next stuff. So we really help you figure out how to move through the course if you want help with that. I've taken a lot of online courses where it's like too much information. It's like each module is like so many hours of video that I've done online courses where I've never gotten to the end of it. I just couldn't do it, or the time ran out. So this is not one of those courses. I've really put a lot of focus into giving you what you need. And then instead of just like throwing a whole bunch of stuff at you, it's like, here's what you need. It's very focused. And then what's important to us is that you actually you digest it, you understand it, and that you're able to do it. And then we give you access to the video classroom, which is my entire video library, for 6 months. So in the first 6 months of the course, you have access to that library. So that's a whole other thing. And so like on the calls, if you're working on something in the course and you're getting a little stuck, we might recommend like, hey, there's a video in the classroom where Karen's, where I'm working with a student with a horse just like yours. Go watch that video. But I really feel like it helps to not overwhelm people in the course, because it's like, here's the course. There it is. It's a lifetime reference. And then if you need even more, go over here and get that additional support. So we try to give you as much as you need and not enough that you're just going to go, oh my God, I can never get through this. Because actually doing it is important. You get 6 months of weekly live Q&As. So kind of like this, we meet on Zoom, except the whole focus is we get right to questions, and you can send a question in ahead of time, or you can just talk about it on the call. You can post a little video clip in the Facebook group. And so those are just priceless. Every week, you'll never be more than 6 days away from another call, which is just awesome. All of those calls are recorded, and you can download them to your computer and keep them forever. We give you 2 free private video coaching sessions. So inside the course, we have Dressage Naturally licensed instructors. They're available for private coaching. You get 2 sessions for free, and then you can get as many extra ones as you want at a really good price. And you can choose what instructor you want or let us choose. So totally up to you. You don't have to be on all the calls, but you'll know if something's coming up or you're getting stuck or you just have something really cool to celebrate and nobody around you gets it. You'll always be able to jump on a call within a week, which is just amazing. But plus we also have our Facebook group. So on a daily basis, if you just need something now, or hey, does anybody know another video I can watch for whatever? Or I just want to celebrate a win, or hey, I'm getting really stuck and frustrated. I need to, can somebody just cheer me up, and whatever it is you need. We have the Facebook group, and that has the Sweet Spot student alumni. So you got a lot of really experienced people. So if you ever have any trouble. All right. So that was I know I just a lot of stuff at you, but I know that covered a lot of people's questions. I'd like to get right to introducing you to some of the students, because like I said, the whole of this course is greater than the sum of the parts. I can talk about all the details and I can gush about how fabulous my course is, but what's really important is what's it like to go through as a student. Okay, so let's meet Christiane, Julie, and Stephanie. First of all, thank you for being here. I'll throw out a question, and then I'll let you guys just pop in, and it'll be one can say something, someone else can add something. Does that sound good? I'll let you guys just kind of unmute yourselves and pop in. What was not working before you took the Sweet Spot course, and how did it improve? Paint a little picture of what you and your horse were doing before, and what's it like, what happened, what's the before and after in kind of a nutshell. So I'll let you guys just figure out who's going to go first.
Well, I'll go first.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, everybody.
Thanks,
I'm Julie. I'm in North Carolina. I did want to say, before I answer that question, a couple of things. A friend of mine had sent me to Karen's podcast a couple of years ago, I guess now. And the first time I heard the first podcast, I knew I had found my person. I get emotional when I talk about it. So I had been looking my whole life. I knew the dressage that I was learning was not what I wanted to do, and I couldn't understand it. And I got frustrated because I had instructors that would say, twiggle this and jiggle that, and can you feel that? I didn't even know what I was supposed to feel. And nobody could tell me. And I had started all my horses, but I can only get to a certain point because I didn't understand this stuff. And nobody could explain it to me until Karen. She even helped me overcome frustration. If you come to those weekly Q&As and you really pour your heart out like I did, she'll send you to a Dressage Naturally land video that will explain why you're frustrated and how to get rid of it. Because I learned, I'm sorry, but I get emotional when I talk about it, but I learned from Karen that my horse cannot hear me when I am frustrated, period. And so there you have it. So over the course of the 6 months, I just had one epiphany after another. And my sweet boys that I was working with started to understand. We started having a real conversation. I stopped taking myself so seriously. And so anyway, I can't even remember what it was like before Karen at this point. And that is good because I don't go back there, if that makes any sense. And I'm able to see each horse as an individual and start with relaxation and end with it. No matter what happens in the middle, that's what I always do with every horse, every time I ride. And we're all a happy, peaceful. I have a boarding barn with 16 horses. And the one thing people say when they come to my place is, this is the most peaceful place. It's wonderful. Nothing is fast paced. Everything is relaxed. The horses are happy and lovely. And, I just can't say enough good things about this program. And you can do it. I did not think I could do it. In module 1, I thought, well, we'll never do that. And in no time at all, we were doing it. So each time you learn something new, it builds on your confidence and your understanding of actually having a conversation with your horse. So I'll shut up now. I'll let somebody else go.
Thank you so much, Julie. It's you really dove in, and it's been fun to watch your progress. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, who'd like to go? Stephanie.
I'll go. Yeah. So when I found this program, I had just started eventing. And, one of the things you have to do when you do eventing is you have to ride dressage. And that's the part where apparently all the eventers were like, okay, if we survive dressage, then we can start having fun. And I was also riding with a trainer who literally would say things like, it's too early in the morning for this kind of question. And he also would never answer the question later in the day. So the big difference was I didn't know what I was doing. My trainer wasn't any good at explaining. And my horses were like literally running away from me. I would go get them to practice dressage and I would have to bring grain. And after that, huge increase in understanding and happiness with the horses. And now they wait at the gate for me and are like, why aren't we doing something? So I'm real pleased about that.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's like global thing, right? That's the piece. It's like, yeah, there's some really cool exercises that I teach, but there's something bigger. It's the come from, it's the attitude, it's the principles and priorities and how we apply them. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Steph. Yeah, and Chris.
Yeah, so when I started the course, that's 1.5 years ago, and I'm still part of the video calls, the video calls, by the way. So I just stay here forever, I think. But when I started, I was actually in doubt if I was good enough. I was literally stuck with my horse. He was kind of a project horse. I got him when he was 9 and he wasn't really started. And yeah, we couldn't, I could sit on him and that was about it. He wouldn't move a lot. And when he moved, he would move into a direction I didn't want to go. So I was kind of stuck and a bit desperate. And I had a coaching call with Shona, and she recommended the sweet spot course. And I was really in doubt if I was good enough and it would help me. And I couldn't even ride. And if I couldn't even ride, how could I do the exercises? But it was transformational. I remember my first call and everybody, when you get your first call, the alumni from the last semester are there to share their experiences, and everybody was so happy and talking about all the successes. And I'm European, I'm located in Denmark, so I was like, yeah, those Americans, all over. Oh, this is so great. And yeah, you're talking, yeah, cool, yeah, everything is so great, sure. But a half a year later, I was one of the people saying it's so great. It was transformational for myself, for the relationship with my horse. People at my barn are more traditional, so we're looking at me like suspiciously, like the lady with a rope halter from the ground. What is she doing there? Well, this is weird, and she's not riding. And after like 4 months into the course, I got comments like, "Your horse really put on some muscles, right? How did you do that?" And like, okay, he's going really nicely now, isn't he? And that looks really good. And even my chiropractor and vet, she was commenting on that he had a problem with his one hind leg and it disappeared. She couldn't see it anymore. He was just totally straight and just walking perfectly. So yeah, if you're in doubt, don't be in doubt, just start it. It's great. Yeah, and I said, I'm hanging around these calls forever because that's my highlight of the week.
Well, you are welcome to. It's so great to have. The community is pretty cool. Yeah, so Chris mentioned, that she was hesitant maybe to sign up for the course because she thought she wasn't good enough. I'm curious if Julie or Stephanie, did you have any, like, what were your hesitations, or were you just like, I'm in, or did you have any hesitations before signing up, and how did you overcome them to go ahead and take the plunge? Because I know it's a big course and it's not a small investment.
Yeah, I definitely had some hesitation. I had some chronic pain, and I really was already frustrated with dressage before I got here. So one thing was I had a conversation with Shauna about just where I was, and that was really helpful. And then once I was in the course, it seemed like, I don't know, every 2 or 3 weeks, one or more of us would show up and be like, oh, we're not doing it well enough, or we're not catching up enough. And you guys were just great. You're like, no, just do what you do. And it was really amazing to me that we could get on the call and each of us could be where we were. And all the instructors managed to take each of us wherever we were and take us to where we wanted to go, which was really different for like the 6 or 7 people on the call. So I just really got comfortable after the first few months and realized, yeah, I don't know how to do it yet, but I'll get there because you guys will answer almost any questions. So that's really helpful.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know, yeah, I remember you did have a lot of pain, and Linda had written in the chat about having possible physical limitations. I mean, it really is for each horse and each person and each horse rider person. It's like, where are you? And how can we take a step towards where you want to go in a way that works for you? I mean, that's really what we all have to do. That's what real progress is about. So, yeah, you really navigated that well, Stephanie, because you were another one who just kept showing up and diving in, and it wasn't so simple and easy for you. You had to personalize it and customize it to make it work for you. So cool. Yeah, Julie, how about you? Was it easy for you to just sign up, or what were your hesitations?
Once again, I talked to Shauna. She, you give us that opportunity on your website, and she called me right away. And I was thinking I maybe wasn't good enough to do it. Didn't know enough. Not that I wasn't, just didn't know enough, and I might be in over my head, but she said that would be the perfect place for me to start, is the sweet spot, because I was explaining to her what I was trying to accomplish, which was I've never seen my horse stretch over his top line. I don't even know how you get there, because the ways that I was told to do it never led there. It was a pipe dream of some sort. So, and I thought that the money was significant. I didn't think that was chicken feed. So when I joined, and having listened to your podcast and knowing what I wanted to learn from, I jumped in with both feet. And I highly recommend that for everybody to jump in with both feet and be willing to go on those calls and tell them really what's going on in your head. Because the only way I could overcome my head was to have something else put in there. And they know exactly how to put that confidence. And I became playful. I'm not a playful person. I'm very driven and all that, and it's done me well. But now I can actually play, and I'll call my horses, "Are y'all ready to play?" And I don't take it so seriously. Mm-hmm. I just got a new horse a couple of months ago, and I started her right off with Module 1. She's old enough to know most of these things, but she was not relaxed. She could not stand still when you got on her. She could not stand still to get haltered. And they told me if I lunged her before I rode her, it would make her worse. The first time I rode her, I got her to stand still, quiet and happy, just because I had changed, man.
Yeah.
So it was the best money I've ever spent. I'll just say that.
You have to kind of immerse in it. It takes time to make a behavioral change sometimes, and just to hear it again and again. And on the calls, we don't just give an answer, but we'll help. You'll hear the logic. You'll hear how the instructor is like thinking it through. and how, you tell them this problem and they come at it and they see this part of it and send you to that video or resource or and give you that advice in that moment. And that's what helps everybody be able to learn how to independently problem solve moving forward. But it's the contact points, it's the people to reach out to. And I know we hear from a lot of people who are frustrated in other online courses because they just have the videos and not a way to ask the questions. So I'd be curious for the three of you, because a lot of people ask about the time, like how much time does it take? I'd be curious, like, how do you work through that? Like, how much time do you set aside one day a week? Do you like watch a little bit of videos every day? Like, how can you remember when you first went through the program? Like, how did you actually logistically do it? Because I'm curious, because you might have all done it a little differently, or just give a little idea about what it's like to actually move through it.
Yeah, I'll answer that. I used your intention tracker. So in the program, she has a little intention tracker, and she asks 5 different questions about 5 different things you're going to do that week. And then, so it gave me time to really think about what I wanted to do. The hardest one for me was watching the videos. So I would say, I'm going to watch 2 videos this week. I'm going to work with my horse 3 days. I'm going to keep a smile on my face. I'm going to be open-minded, and I'm going to make sure I breathe before I get on my horse, or something like that. And it kept me focused. It just kept me focused. So that helped me, and I still use that every single week. And it keeps. Sometimes in the middle of the week, I'll look back on it and go, "Oh yeah, I was going to do this, and I haven't done that yet. So let me sit down and do that." So that's how I did it. I'd be curious to know about everybody else as well.
I think I spent maybe half an hour, 3 evenings a week going through the material and then jotting some notes down. And then I would just incorporate it into whatever I was doing that day. I don't think it was like a huge burden. And it was mostly driven by I moved on whenever I sort of felt like we had some competence at it, and I was curious about the next thing. So it wasn't like very structured for me, but it flowed really nicely. It just kind of blended into what I needed to do as I was working on eventing. So it was pretty seamless for me.
Cool.
Yeah, for me it was also quite easy. I used 10 minutes every night before I went to bed, like watching a video or reading something, or whatever the course I was at, and then trying to implement it during the week. So I used small incremental changes.
That's great. No, thanks. Because I think that's something that obviously time is important to people, and a lot of people don't have a lot of time. But it sounds like for each of you, it was like, yeah, just do a little bit, a little bit here, a little bit there. I love that right before you go to bed, just infuse your brain with it. Yeah, and I wanted to the intention tracker that Julie mentioned, that's built inside the course, and it just prompts you, if you want, you can use it or not use it. But it prompts you to say, hey, do you want to set some intentions for the week? And so the intentions can be whatever you want them to be. Sometimes we help people with I don't know what kind of intention to set. And so we can help you with that if you're not sure, but it's just a reminder. And then during the week, it checks in hey, how's it going with those intentions? And then at the end of the week, you can write down, you can check off yep, I did it or I didn't do it. And you can move that one forward again. So it's really just a tool for you. But some people really thrive with those prompts, like Julie said. And some people just turn off that feature. So it's really up to you. If you have any quick nuggets of advice, you've already given good advice, but
join the calls. That's really, I think it's for me was something which kept me accountable, because I knew, okay, we talked about that last Tuesday. I haven't tried that yet. Oh shit, I should try that before next Tuesday. So it really motivated me, and it's a great community. And as I think one of the others said, it's you kind of get to know each other. I mean, Julie and me, we started together, and I really remember your frustration in the beginning. And it's so much fun to see the development of the other people. It's so motivating, and in a really good and healthy way. So it's really, join the calls.
I would say get competent making and posting videos early, because I have gotten some of the best advice and best, things to do with my horse, and developed really easily over weeks when I post a video every week. So I can say, like, okay, I did this and this is what we look like. And then we did this. And I mean, it's like having Karen or Shauna or whoever's doing the call there. And it's really amazing because, I mean, they literally go like, oh, at 3 minutes and 21 seconds, do you see that? Okay, next time you feel that or see that, go fix it. I mean, it's really amazing.
Yeah, and you really took advantage of that with the weekly calls of like, just it's like a little mini video coaching session, because you can do a whole private one, but you just this like little 3-minute video, that so it's easy for people to watch and we get a picture of what you're saying. Yeah, super. Any advice, Julie?
Yeah, I guess I've already given it. Have an open mind, jump in with both feet. And I made a little booklet with all the modules that were written. I bought a 3-ring binder and clipped everything in there. Did y'all do that? Yeah, no, yeah. Well, anyway, I did that, and I would get in the bed with my laptop and watch those videos, and I was in the calls, and I was not afraid to look stupid or frustrated or anything, because I wanted to learn this stuff. So don't be afraid.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that advice. Yeah. Because it's not about, it's not a performance. It's not a competition. It's like, show us the stuff that's not working. That's what we're here for. Show us your worst. I just saw Cindy wrote in, what if I don't do dressage, rather I do endurance riding? Yes, we've had other endurance people, because having your horse move with ease, with rhythm and freedom and balance, and that effortlessness is going to really help over endurance for sure. So absolutely. So based on what Julie and Chris especially said, is this feeling of like, I'm not good enough, I'm not ready enough. You're not going to feel ready enough to take the course, and you're not going to feel ready enough for the next module. Like, I think it's just a perpetual state of feeling not readiness that we humans can sometimes feel, and it's not necessarily truth. So, if there's big questions about whether the course is right for you, again, you can talk to Shauna, you can sign up for a private consult, or you can just ask a question here. But for the most people, this course can give you so much because it's playing online. We've had older horses doing it. We've had older people doing it. And I know with the investment in it, it's not insignificant. But it's, you're getting a team. It's not just a bunch of videos plunked up there. You get worksheets, like Julie said, that you can print out and put in a little binder if you want. You get a whole team of instructors and people, and those live calls. So it's not just a passive thing. It's like, we're really here for you. And if you don't have the question or know what kind of question to ask, there's going to be somebody else on that call asking the question. Even if you're not on the call live, if you're not sure you'd be able to make it, people all the time will send in a question. We answer it on the call. And then on the call, we'll say something like, and hey, Susie, like, when you listen to the recording, let me know if you need anything else to follow up. We can follow up in the Facebook group. So it's, like I said, it's a philosophy. It's an immersion in a culture of doing, creating happy athletes and doing things with our horses. And just the value is really, really high. Like the lovely Chris and Julie and stuff have said, it's built to be transformational because it's the way you approach it. So
yeah, I was also going to say, Karen, like that, let everybody know, as everybody said, it'll be the best investment in yourself and your horse. Like, we get that all the time. People email us after they've taken the course. And then I just wanted people to know too, as they've all said, the support is amazing. Like, yeah. I think it's probably one of the most highly supported online courses or programs out there, because we hear that all the time too. People who sign up have done multiple other courses and have found us, and the support, and it's ongoing. Like, you always have a way to get your questions answered. The Facebook group, through email, coaching, sign up for more calls, but you always have us. Once you're here, we got you.
Yeah, and I'm just looking through. So I just saw a question. So Linda, I saw part of your question, but now I'm reading it again. Kind of moderately experienced rider who has possible physical limitations. So I saw that part. So like what Stephanie had alluded to, like we're happy to work with anybody to go, okay, here's the limitation. It's like, okay, what can we do within that limitation? The same for horses. We've had horses who have some sort of limitation, but it's like, okay, well, what can they do? But then I saw you said that you're not riding. The concepts for the sweet spot are applied on the ground and in the saddle. So we have had people who aren't riding, like they'll, because of themselves or because of the horse. They might have an older horse or a horse with some sort of reason why it's not being ridden. So I would say it would involve being able to move with your horse and influence your horse from the ground, circling online, that sort of thing. So if you feel like you can do that and you do exercise your horses online, then it could be really valuable just to have that. We do a lot of stuff online with the horses, and it can be hugely valuable. So if you feel like you're able to play with your horse online and ask the horses for energy and to move their haunches or shoulders or things like that, then yeah, absolutely. If you're not sure, that might be a good thing to jump on a private consult if you want to talk a little bit more about what the limitations are. But totally, we have had people who don't necessarily ride get a lot out of it. So Jennifer said, if you have a young horse just started under saddle in the last 3 months, we are walk comfortable but still hesitant at the trot. Should I wait until the next course, or would this April session be appropriate? Yeah, I mean that's pretty. I mean, every horse is different, but that feels a little early, although because of you can do some of the stuff on the ground. I think being able to have your horse moving more healthy and through and free and let loose and relax, energized, and balanced on the ground is going to be great to help in the saddle. That you could actually do it now, focus on the stuff on the ground with the horse, and then by the 6 months from now or whenever you have more riding under your belt, then you'll be able to start thinking about implementing it from the saddle. Because like the moving massage, the having them let loose, like every circle that your horse trots online could be in like let loose and free and balance and relax, or not. And if you start this process where the horse learns from the beginning of like, oh, when I feel an aid, it actually makes my body feel better. Wow, that's cool. Let's listen to mom more. Yeah. And Nikki also wrote in, I'm just noticing she's worked with many, many, many youngsters, and I found it really helps the gaits and the balance as you're starting them. And you have forever to go back and really proceed, giving the youngster as much time as you both need. Yeah. And Chris wrote, what's really great about this course, you progress even as a total average horse person without any special talents for horse training. This course was made for people who don't know anything about dressage and don't necessarily care. So we have it's a course full of people who don't necessarily love dressage, but they want their horses to move in a relaxed, energized, balanced, free way in partnership. Yeah, so we really have had the whole gamut of people with no kind of natural horsemanshipy or partnershipy foundation skills, and no dressage skills. We've had people with dressage and natural, really good foundational skills, and we've had people with one and not the other, and vice versa. So when I made the course, I was on purpose thinking, how can I make this really universal, that I can talk to an upper level person and they'll get it, and I can talk to someone who's never done this before and they get it. Like I said, the concept is universal. So, all right, guys, thanks for popping in. Email us if you have any follow-up questions. Otherwise, you know where to find us. All right, bye, everyone.